Hey, green-minded friends, here's how I make the masks out of the t-shirt. So after you've cut out your, the bottom of the t-shirt for your bag, then you have the top of the t-shirt left. I'm going to give you the pattern on an email, and you're going to cut out 4 of these pieces, and I'll show you how I lay them out to cut them out. So the first one is on one sleeve, and you lay it out this way. Then you're cutting through both sides of the sleeves. Don't cut the end of the sleeve yet. Don't cut through to the end. Cut. Okay, I've got my second sleeve cut out. Then you take your pattern and you put it kind of there on the shoulder blade. Pin it down and cut around. Don't cut into the collar because you're going to use that. There's your third one, and then your last one gets lined up kind of like that. Anyway, the point is that 4 of these, you can cut out 4 of this pattern on the leftovers of your t-shirt that you've made the bag out of. There's your 4th one. Okay, you have 4 double-sided. Okay, so 2 pieces. So 8 pieces total. Keep the pairs together. Then you are going to carefully cut out this collar band. Cut on the outside of the stitching. This you're going to use for the straps. So I'm cutting all around the whole collar. And if I keep the stitches intact, then it's not going to fray, and I don't have to sew it up any further. It's just done already. So this one you're going to cut in half. This is your circle from your collar seam, and you're going to cut it in half right there and then right there. Okay, then these are your sleeve bands. This is the end of the t-shirt seam. You're going to do the same thing. You're going to cut just on the outside of that stitching on both of the sleeve seams. Okay, after you've cut out the sleeve band, then you're going to cut right at that seam. It's right here. Cut on one side of that seam. So you have basically a finished end and a raw end. So you have 2 of them now. You have a finished end and a raw end, and then you're using one of the collar bands. Okay, so you have 4 of these. The first thing you're going to sew is 2 of these together. So basically you're sewing the sleeve together on this long end. Okay, you need this, 2 straps, and 1 short strap for 1 mask. Okay, now I'm going to sew it. Okay, so I sewed both of those sleeve pieces down the largest part, the largest side, and now I'm just going to press open the seam. If you don't have one of these pressing hams, you can use a towel over like a can of tomatoes, but this is pretty handy. let's not film. Okay, they are all pressed now, both pieces, and we're going to pin them together with the seams on the outside. You're going to, okay, this is the bottom of the mask, this is the top of the mask, these are your sides. You're going to pin and sew the top and bottom first, leaving the sides open. So you're pinning across the bottom, across the top, lining up your corners. Okay, then I'm going to go sew the top and the bottom. Here we go. Okay, I sewed together the top, I sewed together the bottom. Now we are going to take the collar piece. Remember there was a round collar piece, we cut it in half. So we're taking that piece and tucking it in one end. So conceptualize how this is going to be. You're taking an end and pinning it into that side, and then taking the other end and pinning it onto the other end of that side, so that there is a loop down inside the mask. When we turn it right side out, the loop will be inside. So now I'm just going to do a straight stitch right across that end. Okay, so we sewed the loop into that one side. Now we're going to sew the straps into the other side. So you'll see after you clip your sleeve bands that you have one finished end and one raw end. You want the finished end to go into the mask. So you're shoving that down in, and then you're sewing the raw end into the seam. That's one strap. You take your second strap, feeding the finished end down into the mask, and the raw end will get sewn into the seam. Okay, now we have to leave a hole to turn it right side out. So we're going to sew right over the strap, stop, start again at this strap, and sew to the end. So right to that strap, and then leave that gap to turn it right side out. Then, before I turn it right side out, I just clip the threads in here, as well as these extra bits, just so that they're not uncomfortable when someone's wearing it. It's not extra bulky. We got enough issues. We don't need extra bulk. Okay, then taking the hole you left, just reach your fingers in there. You should be able to reach through and grab the loop on the other end, and just start pulling it through. Extra little thread. Great, now I'm just going to go back and close up this little seam. So just a little 2-inch stitching. Okay, so I did that row of stitches, which just closed it up. So here is your mask. You could do 2 long straps on this side. The reason I designed it this way, first of all, it uses the t-shirt collar, but also here it's easier to put on, I think. You're looping one of the straps through, bring it back around, and then just tying it. So there it is. And it's nice because it's really soft t-shirt material too. So I hope this makes sense. You can email me if it doesn't. Thanks.